Welcome, everyone, to the After the Gate podcast, your number one source for authentic stories, interviews, and educational content surrounding the justice system, incarceration, and more. Come along with us now as we give you a glimpse before and after the gate.
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the After the Gate podcast, your one-stop shop for all your prison content, education, entertainment, all that good stuff. Today, we have Christopher of a 100 TV, media content, production, tons of cool stuff he has going on, so we're going to get to know him. And if you want to first jump to it, Chris, you can tell us your name, your age, and where you're located at, your location.
What's going on, guys? My name's Chris, content creator of the 100 TV. 39 years of age, and I'm down here in the wonderful city of Atlanta.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so I know a little bit about your story just from watching some of your content, stuff like that. Can you tell the viewers and everybody that's watching, what is the crime that sent you to prison? What's kind of if it's a multitude of crimes that kind of led up through childhood or something, explain that to us. And what did it feel like that moment that you were sent off? Because I've seen across your story, you went away for 19 years and you tell your story about that, but give the viewers a little bit and go a little bit in depth.
Yeah, so I'll just say childhood, not uncommon. I would say middle class, mom and dad, they went their separate ways, single mother household, but she was a grinder. But when she was working, I'd go explore whatever, right? Grew up in Chicago, so it is what it is. You're growing up in the city, you're a young kid, you're exploring, you're seeing things, mom's at work, no dad around, you start to get advice, but even then I was still focused, I was still going to school, and did all right, not almost, but to the point where I went from school to the Air Force, active duty. Was proud of that, but there was still a part of me that was still, attracted to the streets. Just what that life had brought. In the military, I was young, actually enlisted at 17, which you can do with your parents' permission. And I wasn't ready. I tell people all the time because they're like, well, how was it like? And my first thing is I wasn't ready. It was a great experience. Anybody that wants to, I recommend it. But for me at 17, being that kid that liked to explore the streets when mom was at work, now being in the military on his own, oh man. Got in trouble in the military, got general discharge under honorable conditions because they basically were like, hey, you got to go, but you're okay. From there, relocated to Virginia. My mother had moved from Chicago to Virginia while I was in the military. Wasn't out there but for a couple months. Didn't really know anybody except for an older relative, my cousin. And he was just kind of, he wasn't focused. He was 10 years older. He was somebody that he didn't really have aspirations. And, it is what it is looking back at the situation. One day he comes to me and he's like, man, I need you to drive me somewhere. Me and a couple buddies. Younger cousin, I'm 10 years younger. He's like, man, I got to go get some money. I messed up. I'm trying to be loyal to a family member. I'm like, well, what's going on? They're like, well, we're going to do this. And they told me they were going to commit a robbery. I tell everybody, it is what it is. I hold myself accountable. But in my mind, I was like, as long as I don't go in, I'm not going to touch a gun. And they said nobody's going to be hurt. And that's why I went. Nobody got hurt physically, but I understand now, of course, mentally, emotionally, trauma's real. Never entered an establishment, never touched a gun. But the establishment that they did had 6 people in it. And in the Commonwealth of Virginia, one incident is not just one robbery. It's the amount of people that's in the building. So I ended up getting charged over time once them who became my co-defendants got caught on separate crimes. I ended up getting charged with 6 counts of robbery, 6 counts of use of firearm, 6 counts of conspiracy, just as if I went into the establishment.
Man, and you never touched a gun. You never, that's crazy. It's crazy how the how it can attach to everything, with a crime or,
Yeah.
How old were you when this happened?
I was 19.
19. Man,
I was
that's when I
19.
went to prison. Yeah. It's young, man. It's wild, man. You're not grown up yet, especially with like the lifestyle you choose that I was choosing. You're not ready for it.
No, and in 19, it's a magical number because a lot of guys I talk to, a lot of guys that are coming home, they got locked up, they got in trouble around 19. They got out of high school, they finally got a little bit of freedom, and they lost their way. But yeah, we're in this situation. I get hit with all these charges. I know nothing about the law. I'm just, again, me trying to justify, me trying to do the good thing versus the bad thing. I'm not going to go in an establishment, not touching a gun. It's okay. That wasn't the case. There's no accessory charge in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And that's why I got charged with all those. Okay. Each robbery was 5 to life. So I was automatically facing multiple life sentences, 6 to be exact. Each gun charge is, first one is 3. Each one after that is a mandatory 5. Each conspiracy 10 years.
Jesus. So yeah, you were looking a lot of time right off the bat, man. So from that point forward, went to like county jail. What was like representation like? Did you have an attorney? Did you have a good one, a public defender? What was that
like? Public defender, not coming from a rich family, just being booted from the military. It was what it was. Young kid, not prepared, getting himself into situations he wasn't ready for. Being at the jail, I'd never been locked up before. So
okay, so ever before, never seen a jail cell.
Nah.
Man, and at 19 years old, that's a young kid. What was conditions like in there when you first stepped in? Was it like, now that you've been through it, was it extremely intimidating for you? Was it, hey, I've been in the military, I can kind of deal with this type of stuff? Like, what was it like for you then?
I just never fit in. I never felt like I fit in. I didn't feel like I belonged there. And it's not to say that I'm better or worse. It's just, I know I knew that at the time I wasn't a criminal. If they would have let me go that night, I would have never even came close. Yeah, I was done. So it was just foreign to me. But just like growing up in the city of Chicago, I was good at adapting. I had no choice. They hit me with no bond. They said I was a flight risk, and I was stuck with a public defender. Everybody basically failed. Like, it was crazy.
Jeez. How long did your trial play out that you sat in county jail?
Oh man, it played out approximately 8 months, 8 longest months of my life.
Yeah. Probably felt like years. Probably felt like you were in there for years.
Yeah.
So did you, with the time that you were given, and did you expect that you were going to go to prison, or you were thinking you didn't know what was going to go
on? And, you're going to have hope. And so there was a part of me that was trying to justify my mind why I wasn't going to get this. I thought I was going to get the youthful offenders program because I was only 19, never been in trouble, ex-military. So there was things that my public defender was telling me that I was believing. There was things that I was picking up, asking the guys in jail because I was just reaching for straws. At the same time, certain guys, they were pretty cut and dry when it came to robbery charges, where I was at. And then I was watching guys come back in those 8 months, come back from sentencing with one robbery or 2 robberies. And I'm just like, I remember one guy came in with 1 robbery, got 30 years. And I was sitting there with 6. Yeah.
Jesus, bro. Yeah, that's scary to be looking at with that much time. What about, so I know you said that you had just gotten kicked out of the military. What was it like with your support system? Was like, you said that not that many people were there. Was there anybody there for you when you were about to do this amount of time? Because 19 years is a hard lesson for someone 19 years old, for you not being a criminal, even for you saying that, like you never really fit in jail, which that's a good thing. That's a really good thing that like, you just not that mentality that keeps coming back, which what was support circle like? Was it like, did you have a girlfriend? Did you have brother, sister, mom?
Uh, had a girlfriend. She was gone. Homeboys were gone. Mom was there. When I looked up, when it was all said and done in the courtroom, mom was there. I mean, would anybody like to speak on his behalf? Yeah, that's all. That's it. You know,
that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, mom's love is a totally different for everybody listening. They all know, man. Mom's love.
Man, you trying to get me teary eyed up.
It's a different grade. Yeah. Hey, just keep doing what you're doing for it, bro. Always, because you know, probably making her prouder than ever, bro. Okay, so what was it like? You said going into jail didn't fit in. What about prison, bro? What was the prison conditions like, and was it just insane? For me, going into prison, I'd been involved in negative stuff before my life, and the people across my audience knows a little bit about. I got sentenced to 98 months, but I ended up doing 6 years. But like my mentality, I'm getting in. I don't want to stay in here for the rest of my life. So I'm trying to get better, but I was still involved in negative stuff. So I was kind of ready for it. For you, that's a whole different, coming from military background, and that's a whole different breed jumping into prison. What was that like with, were there gangs pushing on you? What was there like? What was that day to day? What was it for you?
Yeah. I'm gonna back it at the jail. I got a reputation because I'm from out of town. I'm from Chicago. I'm in VA. But other guys started to rally behind me because I was getting into fights. My name started to travel. Again, that's not to brag. It was survival. I tell anybody. And never once in my bid did I ever initiate a fight. It was always, self-defense, or it was just one of them situations. When I hit the penitentiary, I had that chip on my shoulder because I had a little name in the jail. Mm-hmm. I had done a little whole time in the jail. Now I'm in a penitentiary. I got sentenced to 144 years. Everything suspended with the exception of 19. I got 19 years. I just turned 20. I'm in the system. They sent me to a level 4.
What you said with, you said 144 years suspended. So does that mean that you have to do the 19 and then if you got in trouble again, you could go back, or what does that mean?
Yeah. So to this, for the rest of my life, essentially is what they call 50 years good behavior. Any of the time is held over my head outside of what I served, what I was sentenced to 19. The remainder is over my head, but specifically, there's something in writing that says 50 years good behavior, which basically means one false move, I can go back for 50 years. Yeah.
Oh my God. See, even after you served your time for that entire, that's what irks me, that like you served all that time and you still have these things dangling over your head that you paid your debt long ago. You paid your debt years ago,
Yeah.
Man, that's insane to me. Do you hear a lot? Do you hear that a lot from different people? Just, whether it be different attorneys or different people you speak about with your case. Do you ever hear that people are just like, this doesn't seem right, or that it doesn't sit right? Has anybody ever told you that, or do you feel that way?
Do I?
How do you feel? Do you feel justified with how justice was delivered in their eyes?
It's no secret the cat's out the bag. The judicial system is jacked. It definitely needs work.
Terribly. Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely needs work. I'll say in my case, now having an understanding of the law, I'll just say, actually, I feel like I might have been blessed because they easily could have gave me 30 years. I could still be sitting in prison. And then I'd say I'm at peace because where I'm at in life. And I'm a firm believer, the only reason I'm here is because I went through that,
It brought you to who you are now. Yeah.
I mean, at first, I think when I said that to people, they probably were like, "Oh, he's trying to justify it." But no, that's the driving force behind how I move, just everything.
Yeah. That's good that you said you've come to peace with it, because for anybody listening, for you to be upset about it would still be, it'd be totally normal. Whether you're upset or just maybe upset with the situation, how it panned out, whatever it may be. That's good because you did it for yourself to come to peace and move forward and grow. You know.
Yeah, can't stay.
Cool.
You stay angry and you stay. You know, you're bound. It's bound to come back up. You know.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So, okay. So inside prison, can you tell just a little bit about maybe like some of the hardships that you went through, or some of the things that like you went in thinking, hey, it's going to be like this, but completely changed your mind?
I got sent to Sussex 2 State Prison, which is a level 4. Basically, at the time, it was like a 20 and 4 lockdown. 20, you're out 4. Some of the most violent actual serial killers gangs was bananas. My second day there, I watched a guy get stabbed. The second week, we were going down the stairs to go to chow. Walked over, man. I seen a bunch of guys in front of me walking over something, and I'm behind. I can't really see from my vantage point. And in front of when I get there, it's a guy on the ground. His pants are down. His jaw's twisted. He's bleeding, and you just got to keep going.
Yeah. That's like in movies, man. That's like in movies, like they're saying, just keep it moving. It's real life. It's everyone hearing it.
You don't want to be the guy that stops and stares, and the CO sees you, and now you're the reason, you know, that they're asking you. So you kind of, you're forced to adapt to things. I got sent straight to what I feel like, you know, it was a war zone. A buddy of mine in May of 2005 lost his life 2 days before he was supposed to go home over a television set.
Damn.
So, yeah. I knew without any of those things, I knew I didn't want to. No, this is not life. I need to get out of here.
This ain't where I want to live. Yeah. Man, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
What those instances inside prison can do for just for your psyche, or for your, you know, you tell them to people out here, they won't even have to believe. Like, what are you talking about, over TV? Someone took someone's life over TV? Like, what?
Yeah.
That's wild, man. During your prison sentence, what was it? I know that you probably had a different plan throughout the different years and things changed, but like from the moment you stepped in, what was your goal? Or did you not have a goal? Was it like, man, things are hopeless, I got a lot of time to do? Or
initially I was bonkers, man. I was, you know, again, young. I had a couple fight, you know, victories under my belt. I got beat up once or twice, but, you know, reputation. I just was living for the moment. You know, if I can get something to smoke, or, you know, get some commissary, that was it. A guy by the name of Jefferson Ellie, one day, he just walked up to me out the blue and he said, "Hey, man," he said, "do you know who you are?" And at first I was offended. But he asked me for a reason. He ended up kind of becoming a mentor. And he, you know, now I'm reading books. Now I'm exercising. You know, now I'm doing the things you should be doing if you're doing time. You should be trying to better yourself. And that's when I became, you know, I kind of had a purpose. And my journey in prison was weird, because when I finally got out that wild stage, the wardens on different institutions, counselors, stuff like that, they started using me. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but they knew I had influence, you know, with us as prisoners. You know, guys would listen to me. And they also knew I could interact, I could communicate with them. So they gave me a job as like a liaison, or what they call an elder.
Yeah.
You know? So I was working clerical with the counselors during the day, helping guys with their situations. You know, I was the go-between. So you know,
that's cool,
my
man.
purpose, shifted. Yeah.
That's so cool that you say that. Not many times that there's people inside prison that they can look up to for positive influence, you know, or that building that community of positivity. That's cool that you were like that outlet for it, man.
It was weird, man. It happened by accident.
Cool.
But yeah. Thanks, man.
Was there anything like, what about the pros and cons of it? Was there anything negative to it? Was there any backlash, or was there anything like, you changed, you're not the same type of person when you started making that change?
Yeah, most definitely. There was always backlash. There was always resistance. It's just I didn't care. You know, at the end of the day, I knew it was either I was going home or you guys were going to try something, and, you know, it was what it was. I knew I wanted to live my life. I knew I wanted to start myself from prison while I was in there. I became, I became an inmate advisor, so I was fighting guys' case of charges, jailhouse charges as they call them. So that kind of gave me, continued influence. They kind of gave me the pass, so to say. They were like, "Oh no, that's big bro, or that's and they start, they had questions about anything, it could be about something they seen in the news. So I don't know how that happened, but I became that guy,
Yeah. So, you're doing more for that prison population than the prison was, man. If you think about it, like
some people have said that.
Yeah, leading them people in the right direction for re-entry and things like that. What about for yourself? What was it like leading up to those years before you got released? Was there a support system that like came out of nowhere? You said mom was there. What about, was there, when you get out of prison, all those things that you need, what were you doing preparing to get out of prison? Or were there people outside helping, people inside?
Yeah, definitely. Because so I got married while I was in prison.
Really?
I'll just go to that.
What year?
2017. And we excuse me. We met in 2017. We got married in 2019.
Very nice.
Yeah, we just celebrated our 3-year. Yeah.
Congrats, man. Congrats. That's cool.
That's my heart, man. And we met because I was doing seminars. At the time, they were allowing guests and stuff to come into the prison. And a friend of hers that came in had seen me speak and, introduced us on the phone. And initially it was for a nonprofit that I was running with a buddy of mine out the prison. And it just blossomed into something. So I had that. I had her as support, of course, mom. I had, cousins, certain people had started to come back. Initially I wanted to push some of them back away, but I had matured to the point where I kind of understood the part I played and what was going on. So I had a small group, but I definitely salute them.
With the individuals that were involved with your case that got charged with that, what was their time sentence? What was their sentences that they ended up doing? And do you know where they're at now? Do you hear from them, see from them, talk to them?
I don't talk to them. I honestly don't know where they're at. I've never even looked them up.
Yeah. Did you ever cross paths in prison?
I crossed paths with one of them.
One of them?
Guy that snitched on me at Sussex.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did it run into any issues at that point that you for like repercussions?
It almost did. I think
that
was the moment when I really made up my mind. I'm going towards freedom. I'm not staying here.
Good.
I'm not going because that was
that decision you had to make, I think, too. But with like, here's the evil that I'm facing that I dealt with.
Man, I seen him and he didn't see me. Yep. He didn't know I was back on the compound, and then it was the second time I had got sent back because I had gotten in trouble on a lower level, and I was able to kind of move how I wanted to move, and it's just fate, man. It's in the stars because when I ran down on him and I tapped him on his shoulder, and when he turned around, I could just see that he was scared, and at that point. Yeah. It was enough. And before I left that compound, I ended up getting him a job, moved down to the pod with me. So the guys weren't really, messing with him and, try to make peace on his end. Cause he had got a reputation as being a snitch and stuff like that.
Being that dude. Yeah. It's never good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what stands out the most about incarceration time with, like in terms of whether it was education, whatever you learned, lessons learned, what is the absolute, anybody listening, what did you take from those 19 years? What was the lesson you learned the most?
I mean, for me, it was two things. One is time is the most valuable thing you ever have. Once it's gone, it's gone. You'll never have it back. But the other thing, like more specifically with prison, is their form of rehabilitation is not real. If you're going to rehabilitate in prison, you're looking for them to provide that, it's probably not going to happen. Not to say that you don't have good people in certain positions, but they're outnumbered, and if we've been incarcerated, we've seen it. We've seen the one counselor that tries to help everybody, and she doesn't last long, or so you got to rehabilitate yourself. That's what I learned, man. It's got to be a choice.
I like that. So, let's talk a little bit about reentry. What was the year that you were released from prison?
I was actually released in 2020.
2020. Okay, so yes, man, you're super fresh. I didn't know that you had gotten out that early. I thought you had gotten out a little bit earlier, but you're still fresh, man. You're still fresh to like society. How do you feel? Do you feel normal in the sense of like, hey, I fit in here, things are going smooth? I know for me, getting out of prison, it was like, I felt like everybody knew that I've been to prison. I felt like, I don't know. I know this. I've been out of prison since 2017, and I'm still affected, even with finding my own career path and everything. I'm still affected with the stigmatizing of having a felony and things like that. What's it been like for you? Because you've been out a year and a half now, or almost 2 years. What's life like for you?
It's bananas. I get out and COVID's here. Everybody's got mad. Kobe died, like I just remember certain things that were just happening. Everything was shut down. So here I am after actually this 16 years, 11 months. I come home. I'm supposed to be getting, acclimated. I don't really have the opportunity to. So I'm out here. It's a movie, and it is what it is. First job I got was on the back of a garbage truck.
Nice.
I'll never forget it. But it was a good paying job. COVID, they give you all those hazard pay and all that stuff. Kept me in shape. Then factory jobs like most of us. I always tell guys coming home from prison, get your forklift certification. Because that's a good, quick way to get money. It's steady employment. So I was doing that. And then my wife, shout out to her. She's an entrepreneur. Evidently I am too. We opened a school in December of this year, a cosmetology school. So I'm a principal, which is just like,
handling business, man. That's cool.
Man, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing, man. I'm just grateful for the moment.
Sometimes that's good though. I feel like I made so many plans in preparation of getting out of prison that none of them stuck through, that it just like blossoms into something you don't even imagine, right? You probably never thought you'd be where you're at,
No. You try to, like you said, you try to plan it, and you're getting closer to the door, and over it's playing in your head what you're gonna do. Out the gate, my first day was nothing like I thought my first day was gonna be specifically and every day after that.
Day out of prison, like.
Yeah. Oh, first day. Where did we go? We ended up going to McDonald's and ordering on I didn't know how to order on the touch screen.
Yeah. It's a whole new world when you get out of prison, bro.
Yeah.
Everything's crazy. Everything's new.
My wife's trying to help me, but I'm trying, I'm like, hold on. But she doesn't bear, God bless her. And we eat at McDonald's. It tastes like Roof Crisp. It doesn't now. It definitely did. And then we went to the DMV, and I got my license back that morning.
Man.
That was crazy because I didn't have any driving infractions. So they're like, no, just pay your fee. So I thought I was going there to get an ID. They're like, no, stand here, take your picture. And I'm like, and I got my that was me.
That's cool.
And then after that was just family, home cooked meal at mom's. And then me and the wife, went back to the hotel, kicked it or whatnot. But it was easy. And then after that, it was just driving down here to Atlanta, blown tire, everything. It was just a crazy trip.
Yeah. How far did you have to travel from the prison back to Atlanta, back home? Is it far?
Well, I went from prison to my mother's, which was like 2 hours away, And then for
Okay,
my
2
mother,
hours where you got to go.
relocated to Atlanta the next day. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, I got a few more questions here. I'm gonna pull up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So what about today with like you said a little bit about with what you got going on where you're helping running the school, the cosmetology school. What do you have in terms of like hobbies, goals that you want to accomplish this year? You have 100 TV. What are you looking to push further with media production? Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start off with D100 TV. The whole purpose behind it is actually not me telling my story. The whole purpose behind it is to bring awareness to my brother, who I just mentioned, or mentor, friend, Jefferson Ellie. We got over 188,000 signatures in support of his release on the governor's desk of Commonwealth of Virginia. So fingers crossed for that. And that was all based off online effort. We started on Facebook. Yeah, we started on Facebook. And then
So
just
I have one quick question. Can you send me his link as soon as you're done? Because I don't mean to cut you off in the middle, but tomorrow I'm driving to Indiana and I'm meeting with a lady who runs a coalition for. Are you saying this guy is in prison and he's trying to get out?
Yeah.
With innocence.
Yep.
Oh man, see, yeah. I love how things cross, Chris. Because I'll send you the link to the lady I'm going to meet up with. It's at Purdue University, and she's gotten people out of prison. So I don't know if she can offer some insight or something like that. But man, that's cool that you started doing videos towards this, bro. Because so why? So tell everybody listening, why did you decide to make videos? Because this is an effort for people out there that do video production. They know like it's not easy to get on here and do videos, and especially for somebody who's been in prison for as long as you. You can't imagine you just hop into it like it's easy. Why have you decided to take on such a feat as telling someone else's story, telling your own, and bringing awareness to this individual?
Yeah, it's a combination. It's him. It's reflecting the story of not just myself, but countless others that are incarcerated. I still talk to guys behind the wall. On my channel, I'm interviewing guys weekly that have been incarcerated. They got great conversation, powerful things to say. And then I do a lot of stuff dealing with mental health because in 2019, my youngest brother, he took his life. To put it simply. Yeah, so that's mental health is definitely big. So I talk a lot about that. I try to talk about the things that are uncomfortable, but yet connect us. Because I feel like a lot of the things that are ugly is really what would hold us together and bring us together.
Yeah. So I like that. I like that you say that, bro. Because just like you were that person inside prison where people are like, man, I look up to him. I gotta come to him. I gotta ask a question because I know he's gonna be able to either lead me to the answer or whatever it may be. You're still that same person out here, bro. It's just now media. You're not talking face to face. You're putting it out there through video format or that's cool, man. Because I think too, the way that people looked up to you in prison, like you got this persona of this person, you're this exterior, you're a big dude, people look up to you like that, right? Like, I feel like that just adds to you talking about them subjects, bro, like mental health. Most of the time people think I can't be a man and talk about this, or I can't be manly and talk about this,
Yeah,
but in reality,
yeah, it's real stuff. It needs to be talked about more. The world's angry. Everybody's full of anxiety. A lot of people got undiagnosed mental health issues. It's a lot going on, man. So we just, and I say we because I got a few people in the background, but just trying to push the conversation, wake some people up. Hopefully some people don't come, go the path that I do, and grateful for the messages that come across, the comments, the kids that are like, hey, I appreciate you. It's a journey, it's a responsibility, and it's different. Like I was telling you, it's just different.
Yeah.
I'm getting used to everything, and now the internet, social media is definitely
a whole nother world thrown into it.
There's more levels. So
yeah. I feel like I think of it like this a lot of the time too. There's that you can reach so many more people on the internet and push that message push that conversation that you want to have. You can do it with so many more people on the internet than you could in person. So it's like
Right.
there's
Yeah.
that like resource to tap into, even though it's daunting at times.
I told people to put in perspective when I say I'm getting used to the internet thing. When I got locked up, Facebook didn't. I think they had MySpace, and people didn't have smartphone. People barely even text. They had Nextels. So that's the.
Yeah.
I came home, I'm like, which I'm great. I remember my wife, she had bought a nice, I think it was like 55 inch. She had a sale at Walmart, and it was like I go from a 13-inch to in prison to a 55, and now I got YouTube that I can look up. It's just been crazy. I'm getting used to
It's
it.
it's a blessing. It's a blessing in
Yeah.
some forms too. What's been like the biggest thing for you getting out of prison and just like adapting to, or just like, man, is there anything where you don't feel like you fit in terms of like, I don't know, just anything, society, trying to connect with people out there in society that nowadays, is there anything like that you're going through, or connecting even more because of the internet or your experiences?
I think hands down how everybody's angry and everybody's that I just felt like it was going to be different. And I just, in a lot of ways, not that I feel locked up. I know I'm free. I mean, but the mentality of the people, I ran into a situation with a guy at the Goodwill store where he was cussing this lady out, and my wife's there, and I just turned around because it's all, I'm a guy, I'm a man. It's all women. You're cussing her out. Hey,
Yeah,
man.
not cool.
Yeah, hey, man, maybe. And man, he cussed me out like a dog and told me how he did 5 years in prison, and sitting there like, and I'm just like, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just adapt to that. I don't know. I hope everybody chills out one day. I guess.
Yeah. If I could say anything with it, man, I realized that I got out of prison in 2017, so it was another 2.5 years or something before I experienced COVID and everything that went. But it hasn't been, like you said, people are angry. It hasn't been the same. There isn't no normal that it's been transgressed back to. It's like, I don't know. People are angry. People are super angry, and conversation needs to happen between many things.
Many things, because
Yeah.
2020 with the COVID and the protests, and 2021 everybody was waiting on it. That didn't get much better. 2022 is all right, but now inflation and wars and monkeypox and
Yeah. I hope this new year is like a new wash and everything. I don't know.
man.
Who knows, man? I just know that as long as you come to peace of mind, like you said, we'll be good.
Prayers up.
Chris, if you could say anything to anybody listening, maybe it's a kid that's going through trouble. Maybe they're going through something that you went through as a kid, something I went through as a kid, any similar circumstances, anybody interested enough to learn from you, what would you say to tell them to either keep going, whether they're going through mental health problems, they just don't have hope for the future, they're going to be maybe experiencing a long prison sentence or something like that? What would you have to say to somebody out there that had to listen to your story and they can take away from it?
I would say that this statement, I mean, it's for everybody, but it pertains to a lot of what's going on in the urban communities in the cities. I'm down here in Atlanta. I'm from Chicago. Everybody's angry. Everybody's shooting each other. A lot of people are losing their lives, not just rappers, but everyday people you don't hear about. Just had I'll just say, associate of mine recently lost his life down here, putting air in his tires, and that's going. I'll just say, though I wish I could say something to everybody, and this does pertain to everybody, but to the young men, women, whatever, that's into the street life, that's into the violence that's out there, you don't have a reset button. Once you're gone, you're gone. If you lose your life, it's over with. There's no more parties. There's no more fashion. There's no more nothing. If you run into another situation, if you go to prison, chances are you're going to go for a long time. And if you look up, everything that you risk your life for, it's going to be gone. You know,
Oh.
so just embrace the moment. It's okay to be who you are, because deep down inside, you don't want to get in trouble. Deep down inside, you feel it every time you go on that ride. You know what's up. You know, so while you have a chance, just stop, move the other direction. It's okay.
I love that, man.
Yeah,
I love that, bro. I'm excited for everything you got going with everything business wise and 100 TV, bro. I'm really, really excited.
You too, brother. Salute to you, man.
Yeah. If you can, send me your boy's information.
I will right now when you see me. In case I forget, it's been a long day, but I'm definitely I'm
yeah.
So .org link and stuff.
Yeah. I wanted so you said that there's a bunch of signatures, online stuff has been pushing. Like, so how far along are things with this case? Like, is things looking promising?
We don't. They just released 3,000 people from Virginia. His name wasn't one of them. They released murderers, and that's not to judge any, but
yep.
My brother didn't murder. Not even the crime he's convicted of isn't even a murder charge. It's a robbery. It's multiple counts of robbery, use of firearms, similar situation, malicious one. And we've watched murderers been released, by the handfuls. It's on the governor's desk. There's a petition for his clemency or conditional pardon, because if he doesn't get released, he's been incarcerated for 24 years. He's got 20 years remaining if he doesn't get released, and he's already he's 44. Never been in trouble.
Too much
more. Yeah, and
man,
he's really active. He just got approved for the first ever debate club in the state. No charges, no fights, no type of infraction. I think smoking weed like a dirty urine.
Yeah. That's really good when they come to look at it, because I have a guy that's out in California right now that I've been working hella hard trying to like push his case. And he's sitting on a murder charge where he got arrested by some crooked cops when he was 16, got put into the jail system, and he's been trapped there ever since, just trapped in like bad paperwork pretty much. And it's crazy, bro, how they don't have to give up some of the paperwork that because of certain laws that have changed or things like that. But it's wild. I pray, man. I hope that your boy can get out, that my boy can get out. Because I'm sure on top of them, there's 100 people that are innocent that we don't even know about too,
No question.
Sitting in there, dude, it's, the justice system needs change. And I hope these type of conversations prompt people to listen and change them too, or tomorrow, when I go to Indiana, I'm going to be meeting with the lady that I'll send you the information. But she said they're going to be giving an award to the governor of Indiana for his efforts with exoneration. And then there's a couple people that have gotten out of prison since that have like 25, 30 years innocent and then got out. And then they're fighting for like financial payment because they haven't paid them anything. That blows my mind. You think you do 40 years and they don't have to pay you a dime or don't have to?
It's state by state. That's crazy.
It blows my mind. Yeah. Like, it just doesn't even seem right. Like,
the laws, I don't know. They're looking at them, but they need to. It's jacked up.
I think it takes people at the top that aren't like easily influenced or whatever it may be. Whatever it is, people. We're not in the land of the free like people preach. I don't think either.
No.
Nah. It's bad.
Yeah.
Well, hey Chris, thank you so much, man. I won't take up any more of your time, bro. Stay in contact with me. Send that link as soon as you can. I'll send you links on my end. And yeah, bro, I look forward to staying in contact.
I appreciate you too, man. Definitely will. And anything I can do on my end, let me know.
I appreciate you, bro. Stay blessed, bro. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Sir, peace and blessings, bro.